guys, what's going on? Dr. Gonzo, Boogie here again, back for another movie collection update video. And I got a lot of awesome stuff to show you guys in this video. It's been about a month since my last update video, and during that time I picked up a bunch of awesome stuff. Can't wait to show you guys the stuff I picked up. If you guys saw my last couple update videos, I mentioned that I've just been obsessed with collecting Blu-ray Steelbooks lately, and I have a ton of them to show you guys in this video. I actually think I have 13 Blu-ray Steelbooks that I picked up over the past month. I also have one regular Blu-ray here, a nice little stack of DVDs, and also a little stack of VHSs. So I got a lot of stuff to show here, so I'm just going to get started right now, and I'm going to start off with the Blu-ray Steelbooks, and I'm going to start off with my favorite thing that I picked up over the past month, and this is the Steelbook, Blu-ray Steelbook of Blade Runner. And if you guys have checked out any of my other videos before, you might know that I'm a huge Blade Runner fan. Blade Runner is actually one of my favorite movies ever, and since I'm obsessed with collecting Steelbooks, I felt like I had to pick up a Steelbook of Blade Runner, and sadly there actually hasn't been any Steelbook releases of Blade Runner here in the US, so I had to try to get a nice import of it, and there's a few different ones that I was picking from, but this happened to be one of the cheaper ones, and I also really liked the cover design on this, so I'm really glad I picked this one up. But this is a French import. It's a 2-disc release. It comes with the final cut of the movie, and the second disc is some bonus features, but I'm really, really excited about this. It's probably one of my favorite Steelbooks in my collection right now. Alright, next up, for the Steelbooks, I have some of these Universal Pop Art releases. I picked up a few of these in my past couple updates, the American Werewolf in London one, and the Blues Brothers one, and a couple others, and I decided to pick some more up at Target, and actually one of these I picked up at a Barnes & Noble, but let's just go through these. I picked up Big Lebowski. I've actually never seen this movie all the way through. Back in high school, I did check it out a few times on TV, but I always missed a few scenes watching it on TV, and I'm sure certain things were cut out or censored on the TV version, so I'm actually really looking forward to checking this one out. Next up here, we have one of my favorite movies ever. This is Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. This movie is based on one of my favorite books ever, written by Hunter S. Thompson, called Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. I carried that book around like a Bible senior year in high school. I just loved everything about that book. And this movie is also really, really good, although I don't think it's quite as good as the book. It's still really well done. Johnny Depp does an awesome job portraying Hunter S. Thompson, and Terry Gilliam is one of my favorite directors, so you can't really go wrong with Terry Gilliam directing this one. Awesome stuff here. Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. And actually, if you guys didn't know, my name, Dr. Gonzo Boogie, is actually a reference to the character Dr. Gonzo from this movie and from this book. Okay, and last for the Universal Pop Art Steelbooks is Casino. And I've also never seen this movie before, but I'm guessing it kind of has like a Goodfellas type vibe to it. This is a Martin Scorsese film. Definitely looking forward to checking this one out, though. Right, and also I picked up another one of these comic book Steelbooks that Universal put out. I have the King Kong one. I also have the Jurassic Park one, and I picked this one up. This is Pitch Black with Vin Diesel in it. I've actually never seen this movie before, but my friend Mike told me that's a pretty cool movie, so I decided I would check it out and add it to the Steelbook collection, but I still haven't gotten around to watching this one yet. Alright, next up here I have a couple of Best Buy's pop art releases, just kind of like the Universal ones. Best Buy has their own series of Blu-ray Steelbooks that kind of have these like pop art cover designs, and I picked up the Taxi Driver one. I showed that in my last video. This time around, though, I picked up the Dr. Strangelove release, which is a Stanley Kubrick movie, and Stanley Kubrick is one of my all-time favorite directors. 2001: A Space Odyssey and A Clockwork Orange are two of my favorite movies ever, and I've always really, really liked Dr. Strangelove. It was always one of my favorite movies from him. I'm really looking forward to rewatching this on Blu-ray. And the cover design on this is pretty cool. But I mainly picked this one up just for the movie. Right, and then last for these Best Buy like pop art releases, I picked up Desperado, the Robert Rodriguez movie. And this is also a movie that I've never seen before, even though just like with Big Lebowski, I did check this one out on TV a few times in high school, but I've never seen the movie all the way through. But it was just a nice looking steelbook, so felt like I had to pick it up. Okay, so we have some more steelbooks here. Up next, this is actually the last Star Wars steelbook I needed. I have all the Star Wars movies on steelbook now, and this is the only one that I didn't have during my last update video, and this is Star Wars Episode 6, Return of the Jedi. Really cool stuff here, one of my favorite Star Wars movies. Glad to have all those on steelbook too now. Okay, next up here is actually a few James Bond releases. These are Best Buy exclusives, and when I was there looking around for steelbooks and stuff, I noticed that these were only $10 each, which is a great deal for limited edition collector's edition steelbooks or whatever you want to call them. So I picked a few up. This is for your eyes only. This is one of the 80s James Bond movies. I've never seen this one. It looked pretty cool though. I always wanted to check out one of the 80s James Bond movies, and this is one of the Sean Connery ones from the 60s, I believe. This is You Only Live Twice, and I did check this one out a few weeks ago, and it was pretty cool. I mainly picked this one up because Donald Pleasence plays the villain in it, and you guys probably know Donald Pleasence best as Dr. Loomis from the Halloween series. And he did a really cool job in this one. Actually, Dr. Evil from like the Austin Power movies is kind of based off the look of the villain in this movie. Really cool stuff here. You can't go wrong with the James Bond movies. Okay, we got a few steelbooks left here. This one I actually just picked up a few days ago. This is a Target exclusive. This is the Back to the Future Trilogy. All 3 movies with a bonus disc too. So this is a 4-disc steelbook set. Really awesome here. This was a bit pricey at Target, so I've been passing on it for the past couple months, but I finally decided I would pick it up because I know that when this one sells out and it's not at Target anymore, that's probably going to get doubled in price on eBay and stuff like that. So I wanted to pick this one up before it sold out. Really cool stuff here. I've never been the biggest fan of the Back to the Future films, even though I've always liked them. I would say I mainly just like the first Back to the Future movie. Never been the biggest fan of the sequels. I actually haven't seen either sequel in probably like 10 years or more, so I'm actually really looking forward to going through and watching the whole trilogy. Really cool stuff here. Can't go wrong with Michael J. Fox. Oh, jeez. Almost dropped a pile of DVDs over here, but saved it just in time. Alright, last 2 steelbooks I have to show here. I actually got from a trade from my friend Tom. You can actually check out his YouTube channel. I'll try to remember to leave a link to that in the description of this video. I think his YouTube channel's name is like Movie Game Guy 91 or something like that. But like I said, I'll leave a link to it. But me and him did a trade recently, and I traded him a horror movie called Death Ship, I'm pretty sure. And out of the trade, I got 2 steelbooks from him, and the steelbooks were both of the Kill Bill movies, which the Kill Bill movies are my 2 favorite Quentin Tarantino movies, so real excited to get steelbook releases of both of these movies. Awesome stuff here. This is Kill Bill Volume 1, and this is the Volume 2 release. So really cool stuff here. Really happy with that trade. Alright, so that was it for the steelbooks. But I do have some other stuff to show, like I mentioned. This is the only other Blu-ray that I bought, and this is a Scream Factory or Shout Factory release. It actually says Shout Factory on the side, but Scream Factory on the back. So I'm not sure about that one. I guess it's both. Either way, it doesn't really matter. This is Disturbing Behavior. This is a 90s horror movie. I've actually been getting into a lot of 90s horror movies lately. The Scream and the I Know What You Did Last Summer films, and also recently I just kind of sort of got obsessed with the Blair Witch Project, the original Blair Witch Project movie. So I've kind of been into the whole 90s horror movie thing, so I figured I would pick this one up to check out. I've never seen it before. My friend Mike told me that it was really, really good, so definitely looking forward to checking that out. That was it for the Blu-rays, but I have an awesome stack of DVDs here. First off here, we have the Ed Wood Classic, Plan 9 from Outer Space. I've always wanted to pick this one up on DVD, and I've never been able to find a copy of it, surprisingly. I mean, I could always have ordered this off the computer, but I always kind of just wanted to come across like a random cheap copy of it, but I've like never come across one before. And since this movie is public domain, I figured it would be a lot easier to find, but I found this one at a thrift store, picked it up for a couple bucks. Really excited about this because it has basically the original movie poster on the cover, which I always think is awesome. I also picked up a couple midnight movie releases. This one I actually picked up again. I used to have this one probably a couple of years back, but I had to pick it up again. This is Deranged and Motel Hell. Been trying to bulk up my midnight movie DVD collection a little bit. This is like a monster pack here. It's got Conga and Young Gary, I think is the name of that movie. Pretty cool. Conga I actually have a separate release of. It's not a midnight movie release, but it is an MGM release. But I figured I'd pick this one up too, because Conga I thought was pretty cool movie. It's actually kind of like almost a British rip-off of King Kong from like the 60s or 70s. Pretty good stuff though. And then last for the DVDs here is actually the reason I got obsessed with Blair Witch, is because I found this at a thrift store for like $5. This is the Blair Witch Experience. Comes with both of the Blair Witch movies. There's a box set here, and it also comes with like this like set of computer games, Blair Witch computer games, which I'm never gonna play, but still cool. Can't go wrong with that. But these are the copies of the movie it comes with. This is the second Blair Witch movie, which is complete garbage. I actually haven't gotten around to rewatching this one yet, because honestly, I really don't want to. I remember watching this one a lot in high school when they would run it on the Sci-Fi Channel a lot around Halloween time. So I wouldn't mind rewatching it for that, because it was a movie that I used to watch in high school, but still, just remember it not being that good. And then this is, of course, is the first Blair Witch movie, which I was really blown away by this movie. Actually, with all the found footage movies that had come out over the past 10 years, I feel this movie has really gotten buried beneath them, because I had forgotten how good of a movie this was, and I was completely surprised, and this movie scared the crap out of me. I haven't been scared by watching a horror movie in a really, really long time. This movie really gave me the chills. It was just a creepy movie. It got creepier and creepier as the movie went on, and the characters in this movie, I'm sure most of you guys haven't seen this, but if you haven't, definitely check out the Blair Witch Project. Such a good horror movie, honestly. I would have to say this is probably definitely one of my favorite 90s horror movies, but this has moved up really high in my favorite horror movies of all time list, maybe even like top 25, top 50 now. I just really enjoyed watching this movie, but the characters, of course, they're filming a documentary about the Blair Witch, which is like a local legend thing, fictitious one from this movie. And as they're in the woods shooting stuff for the documentary, they get lost, and they have to spend nights in this woods. And the things that they deal with, they keep getting harassed at night by, sounds, and something is coming up to their tent. It just gets scarier and scarier as the movie goes on, and they get more lost and more lost. And I got to the point where I didn't want to see them spend another night in that woods, because it was just getting too intense. And in the camera footage, when I could tell that it was starting to get dark out, it would actually start giving me a little bit of anxiety. I was like, oh no, these guys are going to have to spend another night in this woods. But just such a crazy good movie. I know all you guys have heard of this one, but if you haven't seen it, or if you haven't seen this one in a while, I highly recommend checking this one out or rewatching it. I was blown away of how good a movie it was, and it doesn't fall under any of those cliches that a lot of the found footage movies fall under now. It was really well done. Alright, that was it for the DVDs though. Like I did mention, I have a nice little stack of VHS tapes to show you guys. So first off here, we have Star Wars, The Empire Strikes Back. This is one of the older CBS Fox tape releases. I actually wouldn't mind getting the entire original trilogy on VHS tape like this, because these tapes are actually a little bit pricey on the computer. If you check eBay for these, there's some people selling these for a lot of money, actually. So definitely happy to find this one. I picked it up for like 50 cents, I think. This was actually really cool. This is an Anchor Bay VHS tape of a Hammer horror movie. So two of my favorite things, Hammer horror and Anchor Bay. So I felt like I had to pick this one up. This is Christopher Lee, one of my all-time favorite actors, in Rasputin, the Mad Monk. This is a really cool, interesting Hammer movie. Not that historically accurate, but still a really fun movie here. And then last for the VHS tapes, and last for this update video, is the Alien Trilogy on VHS. I picked this one up at a thrift store for probably like $2-3, and normally I would pass on something like this, but for some reason I picked it up that day, and I'm kind of glad I did. I've been actually displaying this on one of my shelves with some of my Alien figures next to it, and it actually looks really nice, so glad I picked this one up for a couple bucks. I actually have, I think, in my opinion, better copies of these movies on VHS, the older CBS Fox releases and stuff, but still glad to pick up this box set. Nice little box set. But that was it, guys, for this update video. And I'll try to get a few videos up, hopefully within the next couple weeks. If not, I'll definitely have another update for you guys up next month. So thanks again for checking out the video, and I'll see you guys next time.